between master and disciples.
We invite you to listen to the following discussion by Supreme Master Ching with association members in Cambodia on July 19, 1996, entitled The Deepest Love is From Within.
That's the only way. And that's the way you have to do too with your life. Okay? What is right, if you can help it, do it. Unless you die, if you change or do it, then have to consider whether it's worth it to die for it or not. But if it's not, life and death matter and you can change it, then please yourself. If it doesn't harm anybody, you have to please yourself first. Now I have to tell you the true love begins with yourself. And that's the only truth that I can tell you. I don't talk about always try to please other people. If you please other people with the ulcer in your stomach, is that good? And swallowing the anger within you, is that good? Yes, you are the Buddha as well. Why you have to pay such a price when it's not necessary? You know what I mean? When it's truly, truly necessary and that the other person would die without you doing it, then maybe you consider whether he's more important than you. You know what I mean? You don't running around taking care of people's karma. You have enough of your own. So whether it's marriage or arrangement or relationship or business, make sure you get the best out of it. And that's the way it is to serve mankind. Because if you're not happy in your marriage, you always try to let your other partner have the better. One day you will break down. Or you explode, and you end up in divorce anyhow. And that time is even too late. Okay, but better late than never. If it really come to unbearable, unreconcilable, then just go. Take care of yourself first. Then think about it, whether you should continue or you should start a new life. Anything is changeable. Anything is possible to be rearranged. Because that's how we learn, okay? If you make mistake, it's all right. Admit it and change it. Don't continue in that mistake and sacrifice for what and which and what not. For example, if your marriage is not happy and your partner always take advantage of you and you are the only one who's always feeling bitter and abused or beaten up or things like that, you continue like that for what? Maybe you think you might get a worse one later, but you never know. Can try it. And if it's worse, you can say, oh, it's worse. And then you know. Okay, what I mean is, actually in any situation, you must try to take care of yourself. So that you get the best. But not without taking advantage of other people. Not that you have to take advantage of other people or try to walk over people's dead body in order to arrive to your desired destination. It's not like that. It's just that you have to be true to yourself in any circumstances. And then the other people must be true to themselves. And if they're not, they try to pretend or they try to act hypocritically. It's their problem. And then you will know at least where you stand. That, oh, this person cannot mix with me, so I better find another arrangement. Or wait until he changes or become true to himself. Then we might talk again. Something like that. A partner, business, anything like that. You have to always be true to yourself. Because we're practicing the truth. If you don't be true to yourself right now, when? When will you be true to yourself? Go to heaven? There we don't need to do anything anymore. We finished. Not kaput, but we finish with our job. There's nothing else to do. So whatever, you want to do, just do. If it's correct, So intentionally like that, and if you just have to be true to yourself and your feeling. That's why I have never hesitated to scold you, even though I know it hurt you and hurt me. If you're false, if you're phony, if you're trying to be hypocritical, and if you try to force me to accept this kind of personality of yourself, I refused. I always refused. I refuse, and I will always refuse until you show your true self and be at ease with yourself. Be at ease with yourself doesn't mean you always allow your bad habit to come into the front and disturb yourself and other people's life. You understand? Be true to yourself. I mean, you have to live to the noblest quality of a human being, of a future Buddha, and of a living Buddha. That's what being true to yourself. I don't mean that you have to allow your bad habit to come and disturb everybody and yourself and saying that is true to yourself. Because that's not true. That is false. That's the accumulated imitation or illusion that you have carried with you life after life, and you want to keep it. So I scold that part. I don't scold you, the Buddha. You understand? I scold that part away so that the Buddha can reveal himself, that you're free. Not because I hate you, I don't like you, that I scold you. You must know very clearly between the true and the false, between the Buddha and the one that gets scolded. That's not you. It's a bad habit that you attach to yourself. It's like dust in your eye that has to be removed so that your vision becomes clear and truthful again. That's why I have to always act true to myself and to you, so that you know me and you know yourself. You know which part to keep of yourself and which part to be discarded. All right? If I don't be true to myself and be afraid to reveal myself in every different situation, then you would never even know me, right? You always think I am very sweet, I'm tolerant, I'm forgiving, I am, easygoing. I'm not. I'm not only easygoing, I'm also not easygoing. I'm not only patient, I'm also impatient. I'm not only forgiving, I'm also very strict. I'm not only tolerant, I'm also very disciplined. I'm not only understanding and forgiving you, I'm also very demanding that you be true to yourself, be disciplined, be noble, be a Buddha, anytime. Not only on retreat, but you have to train yourself so that at home, on the road, reacting with other people, you always have to remember to review yourself. That the truest feeling in your heart. Understand or not? So, okay. So in whichever situation, most of the time, you try to force me to accept you. But it's not the you that you try to force me to accept. It's a false mask that you carry on your face, around your soul, and try to make me accept that. It's your problem if you want to accept it. I don't. I want to show you the truth of myself and the truth of yourself. And that's my work. And if it takes scolding or hurting your ego, let it be. I will have to do it. And that's what you come for. If you come here expecting me, praising you every day, and let's say that you're sweet, you're good, you're perfect. You are perfect, but not your habit. Okay, so anyhow, when I say you are perfect, it's also true. But you don't know that perfect person yet. So I have to wash away all the covering so that you know that perfect person. Okay, and when scrubbing and how say? Cleaning, it hurts, because it's so thick. You know, if you take a bath every day, then it's easy, right? But if 3-4 days or a week or 2 weeks, take a bath and then scrub it. And then see how you feel. Hurt, huh? Yeah, and it takes many baths to clean, huh? If we clean ourselves every day, even sometimes we take a quick bath, also clean. But if after 2 weeks and take a bath full, it takes the Ganges River, huh? I think that's why the Indian monks have to go to the Ganges River to take bath. Because the precepts say 2 weeks, bath 1 time. So if you want to be a monk in India, consider again, huh? Don't say I don't tell you. That's one of the precepts. Maybe because in the old time they have to meditate 2 weeks, you know, like a retreat or something. Yeah? And during a very big gathering like this, water is very scarce, huh? And then so if you have to carry the water for 1,000 monks every day to bath, how? In the old time there's no bathroom, huh? No pipe system. So they have to go and carry water from far away. If it's near the Ganges, that's convenient. But if it's very far away from remote village or something like that, wow, then that's very troublesome. I've seen a lot of people in India who went from very high mountains down into the valley to get the water from the river and climb back again the mountain and go to the other mountain. Sometimes 2-3 kilometers. Just carry 2 water jugs in that soda. Not to talk about bath. Drinking is already a problem. You see what I mean? Sometimes people live in a faraway place. It's not easy to always come next to the river, you know. Because if you live there, sometimes the water rise up and then you're also gone. Not with the wind, with the water. Therefore, so many people have to take care and they live very high, but then they have problems, they have to carry water very far. Sometimes people pay for the laborers to go and carry water for them. So you see, actually, in our situations, most of us who are here are very lucky. You see, if you consider that. For some people, even to have water is a problem. Or the desert people, you know, they just have an oasis somewhere and then they have to share the whole town together. And they cannot drill water because they don't have equipment for drilling well in the old time. So consider that and be happy already. And look here, you came to Cambodia. This is a remote place. Many hundreds of kilometers away. This is the next town. You know, from the airport to here, it's 90 kilometers. And in the middle of nowhere. You have electricity, I have microphone, and you have water to drink, to bath, and toilet, facility, everything. Of course you have to bring your own temple, plastic tent. But it's okay already. In no time they don't even have tent. They have to live in kind of hut, and they don't even have mosquito net. So they have fun every day. So actually consider all this. We are already very, 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 very lucky. Actually, from a middle of nowhere like this, we have a very comfortable place to sit, good food to eat. What I mean is I'm a very reasonable person, anytime. Very easygoing. But when the going get tough, I can get tough too. So don't expect me to be only one-sided. I am whatever you are. And that's the best description. I will not claim to you that I'm, patient. As I am. But I can be impatient too, because that's good for you. If I always keep to my good nature, like I'm very patient, I'm very loving, I'm forgiving, I'm tolerant, then what's the use of you coming here? Then you remain the way you are. Right? Okay, remain the way you are if you want, but you meditate more, then perhaps you will be better. But the trouble is sometimes it's difficult for us to learn ourselves about what we are. It takes some circumstances or some reminding in order to awaken us. So It's just like the doctor this morning, I tell you, who scolded people into health, people were very grateful to her later, because they're really healed. Yeah, some shocking system make their body, react and produce a healing effect, because they were so shocked, so humiliated, and so ashamed of themselves. Perhaps the amount of shame and shock was too tremendous that it triggers some metabolism, some manifestation within the cells, within the body. So they reproduce a new kind of release according to demand, Then the brain, the body, the mind begin to say, oh, what a shame. I don't want to be sick anymore. If sickness means shame, means being scolded and being humiliated, then I don't want to be sick. Then they will always associate, the mind will be in a habit to associate sickness with shame, with weakness, with badness, with uselessness, with humiliation. So the mind will try to tell the body and the cell to reproduce a new life. Make new cells. Stand up and heal yourself. And that's how it works. I think, psychologically speaking, it makes sense. So anyhow, sometimes the doctor, like last week I told you I was in hospital, but the doctor was good. So actually we invited him for a party, and we thank him. So I say, well, thank you for knocking me out of consciousness and cut me up into pieces and make me go through a lot of suffering for 2 weeks. But there's nothing I can do about it. The only thing you can say to him is thank you very much. Yeah, and even give him present and all that. Yeah? But when a teacher or a true friend tries to help you in some way, even though it seems painful, you don't feel grateful. Just because your body didn't have the need, your body don't feel the pain of your shortcoming, of your mental disease. So you don't feel grateful to the mental doctor. To the spiritual doctor, or to the psychological doctor, or to the psychic doctor. But if your karma, if your bad habit, if your shortcoming, or if your mental disease state could be visible to your eyes, or could be felt through your physical beings or your emotion, then you would know the need of checking it up, of repairing it. And then you would be grateful to whoever can cure your state of mind in that case. But most of the time, the karma or the mental illness and the unbalanced state of mind cannot be felt through our own physical body or any of the emotional channel. So you do not think that I really need anything like this. Same thing anyhow. The physical body ill or the mental illness is the same suffering. And even more so in the mental case, because it's invisible and it affects the whole being, even physical. But just because you don't know it, you don't feel it, you don't see the direct effect of this mental diseaseness, so you think you are not sick. But actually, we are sick. And that's why we cannot function in this world anymore. We cannot bear it anymore. We're weak. So we want to find the strength that we have lost. We want to go home. We're tired. Just like a person who is ill physically, he can no longer function in his office. He needs a doctor. He needs a rest. He needs to find some source of healing for his body before he can come back to work again. So that's why sometimes I say I cannot stay with you. Even the resident, long-term resident, because it's like staying in the hospital 24 hours. Staying with the patient all the time. And some people don't want to get well. like those patients I told you this morning, just want to stay ill so that they can be pampered, taken care of, like a baby. They don't want to grow up. They want to bother the doctor and nurse all the time. Some people are just like that. Like the hospital I was in, yeah? There was a patient, a little bit elder patient, very rich. Every time he come, he want the same room, my room. Yeah. So that day when after I left, he came in, you know. Oh, he was waiting downstairs already, and he was glad to get that room. That's what they told me afterward. I said, why? I said, I don't know. He just he become like a regular customer. Even in hospital, you have regular customer. Can you believe that? You know why? Because people like to be sick. Sometimes, you know. They're fed up with the world sometimes, and they just go and check up and lay there for a few days until the doctor find out what's the problem or what's the no problem. They lay there for a few days already. You understand? Have to get blood test and urine test and head test, toe test, everything. And by the time the doctor find out that there's nothing the matter with him, there's no problem. He pays the price, he go home. Meanwhile, he get taken care of, yeah? Pampered and things like that. It's okay if he needs it. It's all right. He can afford it. But for most of the people, very ordinary people, to be sick means a burden to your family. Huh? Your husband, your wives must work more to earn more money for the medicine, for the hospital bill. Your children, no one take care. Huh? Your house is a mess. Your mate, or your husband or wife have to even hire some extra person, and that means extra cost and extra time lost, and everything is in disorder if you pretend to be ill. So that doctor cure people by, you know, humiliating them to health. I think it's not bad, because some people sick, like some of the person sick for many years already, and just lay in the wheelchair for people to wheel around. And the more sympathy they get, the iller they become, the more ill they become, and they stay like that. And the poor husband have to wheel them to find that doctor. It's the last resort. And they were expecting that the doctor will put their hand on the patient, you know, do some kind of mantra, mudra, or whatever, and reciting something. Yes, she did recite something. Very loud and clear. Into the consciousness of that patient. And tell that consciousness to get well, because you had enough. You burden people enough. You don't do your duty as a human being. You don't fulfill your promise with God before you descend into this world. So that's okay. Of course, not many people like that. But it doesn't matter if people like it or not. The important point is the patient get well. Right? The doctor take credit or not, who cares? The doctor is normally, not always, a thankful job, right? Some patients thank them, some patients don't. Some very funny story. Sometimes, like, I've read in some newspapers, like a patient, he chopped his hand off by himself. Maybe it's a nutcase, because he saw something he doesn't like about his hand. So he chopped it off. And then when he went to the hospital, people rushed him into hospital, he refused to be reattached again by the doctor. But later he well and good again, and then he looked at his hand, he didn't like it. So he sued the doctors for not forcing him to reattach his hand again, or not to contact his family to do it. And for listening to his own will, you know, to the patient's will, not to attach it because he doesn't like it. But what I mean is the doctor can only do his best, Of course, sometimes he's not that best. He forget the seizure in your stomach, or a piece of sponge in your brain, or whatever. He can do that. But still, most of the time, doctors are conscientious, and they try their best to save the patient's life as their conscience would dictate it, as their oath, before they take over this career, that they try their best, sacrifice their best for the patient's comfort. The main point is because, I told you already, because the mental state of our mind, we cannot feel through the body. Even if we do feel through the body, we do not know, or we do not admit that this is from the mental state of illness. We just think it's a body. Sometimes the illness is from the mind. Many of the time it's like that. Or it's the karma from the previous life, which is also the mind. Because the mind dictates you to do something, make trouble for you. And then you get ill. Thing like that. Because of the consequence of your bad action. So it's also the mind. But since we have agreed to come here and play together to manifest this physical world, then we cannot always help to be ill. So sometimes we're ill, we're sick. But then try your best just to cure it. And don't try to stay ill too long, even though it's comfortable, like me in the hospital. When it's time to go, you go, You get well quicker sometimes to go home. But sometimes in some other country, it could be very cruel sometimes. Like in some of the places I know in America, if they don't have enough beds, or if they think it's not interesting, or they don't have bed in that hospital, they just, send you home. Even you have very painful operation, thing like that. And go home and nurse yourself. But going home sometimes is not all that good because the home condition is different. You cannot avoid work, and you cannot always rest in peace, really. And the hospital bed is different from the home bed. The hospital bed you can adjust to any position you want. Laying upside down or downside up, inside out, outside in. It's okay, everything is all right. Just push a button. And then the bed will bend it the way you want it to suit your well-feeling at that time and your illness. But at home, you don't have this kind of bed. And you don't even have a bed sometimes. Or you have to share it with other person. And the person he's well, he's not sick, so he kick around or snore aloud. And that affects your well-being or your recovery. Sometimes take longer. So it's not every case is that the doctor should scold the patient back to life. It's not true. When a person is really ill, whether due to his own karma or due to the karma he gets from other people, he needs and he deserves some better treatment. Just for a few days until he can be on his feet again, then he can go home. Yeah, but anyhow, everything is in God's hands. So even sometimes if we're treated badly, so what, It's just that it's very difficult to work in a bad condition sometimes. If everything is favorable, it's easier, Just for example, if you come here and we haven't had this meditation hall built for you, it doesn't matter if it's primitive, Still better than nothing, If you sit here under the scorching sun every day, wow, then we all become one nation. African. We all go home changed. And maybe husband, wife, the family member don't recognize us anymore. So even in this primitive condition, I say we should be thankful, Very good already, And for those who are residents, I have told you and tell you again that the only protector is inside. And we just have to go inside. And if for any reason we have to undergo some unpleasant experience for the sake of our ideal, for all the fellow beings' well-being, then okay, let it be. You already know. We are not in heaven. Even if in the more civilized country, it's not safe either. Over there are guns. Yes, they are almost sophisticated crime. So the only safe place is inside us. But remember, Remember, everywhere is not safe in this world. So might as well stay where you are. Or wherever you are, be happy and be grateful. Because nobody can guarantee our safety actually in this life, no? Eventually we die. Who guarantees this? No one. Buddha has died. Jesus died. Mohammed died. Lao Tzu died. Kong Tzu died. Socrates died. Everybody died. And they also have to go through hardship too. If you think that being a practitioner, you are exempt from all the misery and mishap and trouble in this world, then look at the Buddha. Look at Jesus. Huh? He thinks positive all his life, I'm sure. He didn't imagine or hypnotize himself into being crucified, I'm sure. It's just the karma that he has to undergo. Huh? Not his karma, perhaps the karma of the disciple. There is something very strange about the karma between disciples and master. I know that for sure. I have experienced many times. It's just like when you sit next to a person who get flu, huh? Or cholera, sometimes you get affected. Huh? Physically, huh? Not to talk about mentally. We all affect one another without being even close relative or friends, without being even a master or disciples. You can know it. Huh? You know very well. Huh? Sometimes you meet a person from nowhere. Just have a talk with him or her, have a coffee. You came home, you feel so uncomfortable. And you keep thinking about that person all the time. Or just some person just look at you, and you come home and you feel something different. And it takes a long time to forget that. Or some people look at you and you feel like evil was looking at you. You feel dangerous. Huh? You feel danger. You feel threatened and insecure for some reason. And sometimes the feeling come true. Huh? Or sometimes, you had a dream or something like that. That you see some person will come and do something, and then that will come too. Not even that you know that person beforehand. Or sometimes you met a person and you don't even think about it. You just know and see him, and then later you come home, you experience some strange feeling or strange change within you. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. That is because human beings do affect each other. Not only human beings, but trees, atmospheric, influence also affect us. Huh? Just like when you go to too hot a country, you feel bad. You feel slow down. Sometimes you get sunstroke. Huh? So that's his atmospheric effect. Huh? You cannot deny it. And this is true. Sometimes you go to such a cold country, you're not used to it, you had a cold. Or you have some other more terrible effect. So just like if you go into in a very high mountain, huh? And the air there is a little bit thinner somehow, and then you feel very dizzy. Huh? You feel somehow difficult to breathe. You feel tired. When you come down to the plane, you still feel the effect. That happened to me one time when I went to the Himalaya. Too high, too cold, too long. And I feel kind of very slow down. And also it happened to me when I went to the heat place, a hot place like Bodh Gaya in April. That's a crazy thing to do. April, very hot. Even Indian people get crazy in that heat. But I don't have time to wait for winter. So I just go. When I walk to Bodh Gaya, I walk just like a snail's pace, Wow, so slow. As if I'm walking against a mountain. That's the feeling when you got a sunstroke and still trying to function. But I still see the Buddha. I mean the statue. And then I came back to my place, lay there for 3 days. In a cool place, and then I'm okay. But the Indian heat is terrible, so be warned, huh? Don't go there in summer. Go summer, okay, you can go to Kashmir or Darjeeling, Himalayan mountain. Will not go into the plane. Like Bulgaria or Vilnius, and then you get very terrible heat, and the mosquitoes there are as big as I told you already, mini chicken. And they will make your body become their airport for landing anytime. And they don't land only one and as schedule, on schedule. They land anytime. All right, that's it. So you go back to your bed. Good night.